All right, guys. So yesterday we reviewed volume, and so we're going to continue with that today. The the surface area was a little difficult, and we will come back to that. So I do not want you guys to stress. We did review the formula for volume. The formula for volume was what? Now, length times width times height for the formula for volume. But sometimes what happens in volume is they may take they will give you the base of something. So they'll go ahead and give you the base, which is going to be length times width. So what happens is they'll take like the length and the width, and that will be base. So sometimes it's just base times height, that sort of thing. So sometimes I want you to go ahead and find that and then do the rest of it. And I'll show you what that means. So if you ever see B, when we're finding volume, that's going to be your base, right? And they'll go ahead and do the length and the width. So it's kind of simpler. And I'll explain it. What's that, bud?
What is your general page? You just go to the practice?
No, just pay attention. All right, so if you need a refresher on this, remember we have videos on Tuesday on the Week at a Glance. You're more than welcome to go on Tuesday and follow some of those things on the Week at a Glance. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is for number one, it says area of base. So base is length times width. Go ahead and find the area of the base. So our base is length times width. So it's going to be 3 times 3. What is that? 9. So that is our base. Now, down here, they want us to do base times height. 6. So base times height is what? 54. 54 what? Centimeters what? Cubed. Why cubed? Because we have 1, 2, 3 measurements. It's 3-dimensional. Now, if you were to do the formula length times width times height, that would be 3 times 3 times 6. What would be the answer?
54.
Why 54?
Because
It's the same thing. They've just kind of put it together a little bit. So you don't have to always find the base. If you just want to do length times width times height and be done with it, that's fine with me. These are just two ways of doing it. If you just want to say, okay, I'm going to do length times width times height, that's fine. Okay? All right, so length times width times height for this one. All right, so if you were to do this one, the length of it is 2 times the width is 15 times the height is 2. Right? Figure that out for me. What's 2 times 15 times 2? 60. We can do that in our head, can't we? 60 inches what? Now, this is the answer. But they want you to do it a different way. So I'm going to, amuse them because they may ask you a map test or a test this way. Okay? Now, what is the base? Length times width. Length is 2 times your width is what? 30. Okay? So we know our base is what? 30 times our height, which is 2. So what is our volume? 60 what? So our same. So it's the same. It's just two different ways of getting the answer, correct? For me, I just would do this. That's just my preference. I don't want to go through all the different steps. But like I said, they may give you the base of something on whatever assessment it may be. Questions right now? Yes, sir.
So would it be equal the answer for the formula? Or because it says for the area of base, it says E times W. What does the E mean?
That's an L. This right here is not an E. Sorry. That's a cursive L. And the reason they use a cursive L, because if you use like an L like this, what does it look like? A 1. So they use a cursive L.
What happens if you put a
Excuse me?
Does it have to be lowercase when you do
Like you do L like that.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have to be lowercase. There's no like rules. No. But the reason they don't use that is because that's the standard L. They're using a cursive L. Sorry that confused you. See that? That's a cursive L. Cursive L. Good question. Did anybody else have that thought?
Yeah. Originally, I did.
Originally? Make sure if you have a question like that, it's not a dumb question, it's a great question because, you know, we guys don't really write in cursive much. Now, I write in cursive and you guys know what I'm saying, but you guys don't write in cursive as much. Okay? Okay. Go ahead now. You are going to do 3 and 4. All right? I'm going to walk around and then we're going to go over the answers together. If you feel like you're confident on this, you can go ahead and move to the practice page. But we're going to go over these 2.
We're gonna do 5.
All right, let's continue. All right, so again, length times width times height. 4 times 10 times 6. What is the answer for that?
90 meters.
What's 4 times 10? 40. Times 6 is what? 240 feet cubed. Good. Now, let's do this down here. What's the base? Length times width. 4 times 10. 40. All right. Now, 40 times the height. What's 40 times the height?
240.
Same answer, right? Feet cubed. Same answer. Different ways of doing it. All right, for this one, length times width times height. 90 what? Meters cubed. And then the length and the width. Length and width. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 times the height is 90 meters cubed. Same. Good job. What's that? Yep. Hold on a second. Y'all good on those 2? Okay. Number 5. It says find the volume of rectangular prism 1. All right. So rectangular prism 1. All right. What's the volume of rectangular prism 1?
The volume of rectangular prism 1 is 64 centimeters cubed.
Very good. 64
And
centimeters
it
cubed.
uses the exact same numbers as the second one.
Okay.
Instead of the first one. So if you know what the first one is, you can figure out the second one.
Okay.
It's just in a different order.
It's just in a different order.
The other one's flipped. They're the same shape, but
Is it other one's flipped?
Yeah.
Do y'all remember what that's called? If it's like associative property or multiplication, the commutative property, or it's identity.
I think it's
Associative generally has parentheses.
wrong one.
All right, so it's the commutative. I'm just going to shorthand that property of multiplication. Essentially, what it means is the numbers can be moved around and you'll still get the same answer. Yeah, you can do that. Okay, so same answer but numbers in different order. That's your commutative property. And guys, when we get to algebra coming up, that is something we will talk about: commutative property, associative property, all that as well. All right, I feel like you guys have a great handle on this. So what you are going to do now, let's flip them to the back, make sure there's any of them that we need to cut out. The good thing about number 4, 5, and 6 is you are, they'll give you the volume, but you'll have to work backwards with some of those. So for 4, 5, and 6, you might multiply the length and the width, but then divide it into the volume. That's how you'll get the height. So for this one, you'll multiply the width and the height, divide that answer into the volume, and you'll get the length. So essentially what's happening for this one, I'll just give you a little formula for this one. You're going to do the length times the width. Because you don't know the height, you're going to divide the volume, which equals the height.
Oh, I didn't do that. I just figured out.
You can, yeah, and sometimes you don't need to. All right, so right now you're doing 18-3 practice. I'm coming around to help you guys. If you need anything, let me know. And then once you are done with that, you can go ahead and move on to one of the choice boards. Remember, you're only doing one off of the choice off the week of the guidance. You don't have to do all of them, just one. Any questions right now before we begin? All right.